My name is Ralph, and I want to talk to you today about 10 of the most powerful ways to get a job. I've talked to so many different people, and they wrote me back and said, "Can you just do a quick video on how to specifically how the most powerful ways you can get a job?" And so let's just dive in. Okay, I've specified 10 of the most powerful ways that you can get a job. And first of all, let's talk about getting a job. Okay, if you've written a good resume, because a resume is one of the most powerful. If you have a good resume, I just did a clip on how to write a powerful resume. Okay, we don't want to go into specificity about that, but one of the ways, if you have a good resume, then the probability of you being called for an interview increases. So if you've done, any of you that have done exactly what I told you to do on how to write your resume, whether you're having somebody else write the resume for you, or whether you're having a professional write the resume for you, or whether you're writing the resume yourself, it's still the same. You have to do the research, because when you do the research, like I said, you distill, you know exactly what people are looking for in your field, so that you can use that to write a great resume. Because if you know what people want, you can match your qualifications to what people want. And let's just face it, the reason why you have an ad in the Indeed is because somebody has a problem and they want you to come in and solve that problem for them. So when you justify the fact that you can solve that problem for them, then guess what? They're calling you in for an interview. And so your resume has to reflect that. Okay, let's just dive in. Okay, one of the ways to get a job, one of the most common ways to get a job is looking in the wanted ads. If you look in the wanted ads, it's like looking for a needle in a haystack. I don't know how they say it, but looking the wanted ad in the newspapers and the magazines. Okay, that's one of the first places to start looking. Okay, then other places is that register with staffing agencies. When you register with staffing agencies, what happens is that these staffing agencies have a lot of connections. They know where the job are. Okay, most of the employers don't want to bother themselves with going through the process of hiring somebody. They want somebody else to do it for them, so they hire staffing agencies to do the job for them. And so these staffing agencies, when you're looking for a job, you want to register with them. Okay. The other one is the social media. Okay. If you're looking for a job, the social media is so powerful now. It's so powerful that you have the Indeed, you have the Monster.com, you have USA. If you're looking for government jobs, you see a lot of government jobs in the USA job, and there's so many sites out there that will really help you get a job. If you're looking for a real good professional job, LinkedIn is very good. These days you can even look in Facebook. And so all of these sites, don't remove any of them, because when you're looking for a job, you have to tackle it with every single avenue. So you want to register with all these places. You want to put yourself out there, because you never know where the salvation is going to come. Okay, social media is so powerful these days. Some sites will even, if you register with some sites, every single time an employer wants somebody in your field, they will automatically send you a notice. Okay, they will automatically send your resume to that person. So that's why social media is so powerful now. Okay, so social media is something that you really, really need to explore when you're looking for a job. The next thing is job hunters. There are some certain people that companies hire them. They're almost like staffing agencies, but a little bit different for staffing agencies, because what they call the job hunters, and what they do is they work mostly with high-end jobs, okay? And these are people that the company will specifically hire as people that companies specifically hire because they have a high-end job and they want, like, example, CEOs or managers of some certain departments, and these people will go on a nationwide search for people who has proven themselves to be able to do that particular kind of jobs. And so job hunters are very, very good, but if you're looking for a high-end jobs that pay from 60,000 on upwards, they're very, very effective, okay? Number 5 is friends and family. Don't discount the power of friends and family, okay? Now, networking, I'm going to tell you, statistics show that networking is one of the most powerful ways to get a job, okay? I've been in this field for a very long time, up to 15 years, and I can tell you that who you know is powerful when you're looking for a job. Don't think that just because somebody is your father's friend or somebody is your friend or family friend. So what you want to do is, as soon as you get that good resume in your hands, the next thing you want to do is pick up the phone, call your father's friends, okay? Call anybody that you know, your mom's friends, your sister's friend. Tell them, hey, I'm looking for a job, these are my qualifications. Send them a copy of your resume. You never know. They might know, before jobs are published in the newspapers or Indeed and everything, people that work in that company, they know about that opening already. So if you can get a jump before they even hire people. I do a lot of business, I do a lot of recruiting in the medical field. I recruit doctors, nurse practitioners, physician assistant, medical assistant, RNs, and a lot of time before the ad is out, okay, a lot of people in the company know, okay, because what a lot of doctors and nurse practitioners, what they do is they'll call me up and say, hey, do you know somebody? And before they even put it in Indeed. And so what you want to do is, or especially people in your field, associate with them, get with your friends and family and tell them exactly what you're looking for. And a lot of times you'll be surprised. You know, they'll let you know of an opening before it's published. Okay? Another number 6 is like your teachers. Your teachers, where you graduated from school. So one thing I want to tell you is that please don't ever burn your bridges. Your professors in college, the people that you've worked for before, keep good relationships, because you never know when you're going to need somebody. This is very, very powerful. So what you want to do is, when you're looking for a job, okay, and by the way, before you graduate from college in your final year, start accumulating letters of recommendations. Go to each and every one of your professors and tell them, please, can you give me a letter of recommendation? They will gladly give you a letter of recommendation. Now, some of them will say, well, I don't have the time. Okay, you write it, I'll read it, I'll sign it. And majority of the time, that's the way it is. When I graduated from college, I had about 6 or 7 letters of recommendation from my professors, from my dean. And my dean wrote his, but most of I think 3 of my professors said they don't have the time, but they know me, and they said, Ralph, you go ahead and write it, I'll read it and sign it. And that's exactly what they did. And it did help me to get a job, okay? So that's number 6. Number 7, number 7 is clubs and chat groups, okay? If, for example, because I like to talk about the medical field. If, for example, you're a medical doctor and you're looking for a job, okay, you want to be in a circle. There's medical groups all over the town that you're in, and what you want to do is get involved. Get involved, because when you get involved, in these groups, in the meetings. If you don't know where they are, look at the internet. Okay? Google your specialty. When you Google your specialty, you're going to see the kind of associations they have in your area, and get involved. Register. Sometimes it's a very small due, but register, and so that you can get involved, meet your colleagues. And when you meet your colleagues, when you mingle, be very, very specific to tell them, hey, I'm this, I'm looking for a job, in case you guys know anybody who needs my services, you know. And believe me, this is another powerful way of networking. And before you know it, you'll be having phone calls from everywhere. Okay, I've seen that is very, very effective. Okay, the next we need to talk about, number 8, is job fairs. Okay, so what you want to do is, wherever you are, okay, most of the time, the county that you are or the area that you are, they have a lot of job fairs. So what you want to do is contact any of the universities or any of the counties that you're in and ask if they have job fairs. And majority of the time, the job fairs are advertised in the newspaper. So take advantage of it. So when you go to the job fair, be ready, because a lot of time when you go to the job fair, it's like a pre-interview. Okay? Make sure that before you go to the job fair, you have your resume and all your documents. Okay? Your driver's license, hopefully your background check, and everything that you feel that an employer will need. So when you have that, so that when you go to the job fair, essentially what it is that all these companies line up, and as you move from booth to booth, they're interviewing you, and they're asking you, if they're trying to match up your qualifications to what they want. Already they know what they want. So the most important thing is finding out when they have job fairs. Usually these job fairs are like in your county, or in your town that you're in, or in the universities around you. So if you graduated and you're out of the university, always keep in touch with your university, because a lot of time they have job fairs. Okay? The next thing that I feel like is very, very powerful, that most of my students have got good result out of, is writing direct letters. Okay? The way to do this is, you know the field you're in. What you want to do is target about 20 companies in your area that for example, let's just say you're in IT. You know, Google IT companies in your area. So when you Google these IT companies, find out, you know, the head of personnel and who you should address the letter to, or the CEO or the president of the company. Find out their name. This information is easy to get. All you gotta do is go to the internet, research the company, and if you've taken a class, one of the classes I teach on how to research companies before you go to an interview, it's a must. Before you go to any interview, it's a must these days that you must research the company and find out as much as possible about the company. It gives you a leg up. Okay? If you go into an interview blinded and hoping that when you go to that interview you're going to do well, I got news for you. You're not going to do well, because you're competing against the people who have done their homework, researched the company, know everything about the company, know what kind of products the company have, their financial status, know everything about the company. Who you think is going to get the job? You that did not do a research, or the people, or somebody has done extensive research on the company. And so always be prepared before. Okay? So writing direct letter, what you want to do is, when you get all these companies, write a letter to them and say, hey, this is my qualification, I'm looking for a position, and I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be able to bring value to your company, and just send these letters out. You never know. Okay? Your letters might get to the desk of the president and be impressed with the way you write and what you're asking for, and then they'll call you for an interview. But I left number 10. I left number 10 to be the last. I mean, there's so many other ways that you can use to look for a job. But one of the most powerful ways that I think people, anybody, especially when you are in a professional field, to get a job is volunteering. Let me tell you about this, okay? I help a lot of people get a job, and I preach it churchishly that volunteering is the most powerful way to get a job. Because let's just face it, when you go to school, what do you do when you go to school? When you go to school, you go to class, they send you an industrial attachment, and you go volunteer in companies. They don't pay you, but they teach you. You learn. What you learn in the field is more powerful from what you learn in the book, because it's practical. Okay? Now, you are paying to learn when you're in school. So, but when you volunteer, you don't pay nothing. Okay? But they're teaching you. And when you volunteer, you learn better, because you're learning in an atmosphere, in a relaxed atmosphere. You don't have nothing to lose. All you're trying to do, and they're not paying you, so they don't put any kind of pressure on you. So volunteering is the most powerful way to get a job. And let's face it, if you go to a company and say, okay, I want to volunteer, you know, are you guys hiring? No, but I want to volunteer. It's hard for them to say no. And let me tell you something else. So many people that I've advised, giving them the power of volunteering. And what's happening is, when you go, if you're volunteering for a company, let me give you a scenario. I had a guy that was talk to me, and I told him, what you need to do, I help him get a volunteering position in a company. And guess what? He was volunteering in that company for about a month. And this was a high-paying job. Somebody in that company quit. And when the guy quit, they did not even run an ad. They just told him, hey, you've been here, you know how to do the job that he was doing. He said, yes, I know how to. He did not even have to go through the process of getting an interview. All they did was they signed him up right away. So they didn't have to advertise for the job. So I always tell people, volunteering is the most powerful form of getting a job. So remember that. Okay.